All right, what up, everybody? We got very, very good feedback on the music conversation when we all went over our best and worst albums of 2016. So, without further ado, we're going to continue the music discussion. And what I wanted to talk about today, because I was watching Hip Hop Evolution on Netflix. If y'all haven't checked that out, definitely
that's pretty decent.
check that out. Yeah, Hip Hop Evolution is amazing. But
That shit whack.
hater alert.
I just want to say that.
Right. but anyways, as we were looking through the timeline of rap, it came across that there are some striking similarities from back then to now. For example, when Grandmaster Flash ended up getting his group, the Furious Five, and they blew up, it was like so many groups coming out doing the same stuff. You had the Treacherous Three, like they were making them name like the Furious 4+1, like things like that. And when you look at it like that, it's really like biting when you think of it. But I feel like there's a thin line between biting and being inspired by someone. So bringing it to the what I consider to be inspired section, but also could be on that line of biting. When Ice-T was talking about how he ended up making 6 in the morning, and he was talking about, well, I heard this Schoolie D track, and he's considered the first gangster rapper in his eyes. So when he made that song Parkside Killers, I was like, so you heard that song and you was like, yo, like I could do this too. But is that really being inspired? Because when you hear Parkside Killers and then you hear 6 in the morning, even he said it, like it had the exact same cadence and everything. Like even the beat sounded similar. So is that really considered biting, or is it being inspired for what he ended up doing? And I can kind of say the same thing for like a lot of other people today. Like we hear one person like a little Uzi Vert, and you're like, oh, okay, well he thinks that everybody is still in his style now, but you'll hear somebody else and you'll hear like the same ad libs and everything. You're like, damn man, he's over here biting off a little Uzi Vert. But are they inspired too, or are they just like literally just biting what they hear? Who wants to start this off?
I got it
with the dog. Go ahead.
So going back to the Ice-T, and who else did you reference?
Schoolie D.
Yeah, Ice-T when he heard Schoolie D.
All right, so I haven't heard the Schoolie D song, but I had to say that's influence. That's not biting, because he was clearly influenced by that song, and it showed in one song, but his whole career wasn't based off of that one song. So I had to say that's being influenced, maybe a little too much influence, but I can't straight up call it biting. To me, biting is like 22 Savage. Like 22 Savage is probably one of the biggest cornballs in hip hop history, because he straight up stole 21 Savage's complete style, his cadence, the way he raps every single song, and he continuously does it all throughout his quote unquote career. And it becomes a point where it's like, where do you stand up and become your own person? Because like there's like, if you close your eyes and listen to 22 and 21 Savage, they sound like the exact same person. It's clear that he studied him, so he's biting in my opinion. But I can't call the Ice-T thing straight up biting.
So what about like the Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five conversation when everybody started making their own groups?
Go ahead.
That biting, or is that kind of like that line?
I would say they biting the like the group format, like how they biting the just the name, like kind of like how like when the females back in the day had the I'm Roxanne Shante and this the real Roxanne, and this girl it was like every girl was named Roxanne or something.
There's a blueprint.
I mean, right. This basically was the blueprint for everybody else. But as long as they don't sound like that person or try to emulate that person's flow, that whole deal, take the whole swag or whatever, then I wouldn't consider it bite.
I would say it's not too, because it kind of goes back to what I was saying on GI Radio about that one dude that was like he had like the trap record and he sounded exactly like Gucci Man. I feel like you can apply that whole thing to music as a whole. Like they may have copied them with the whole guy group thing, but it's all about perspective. As long as those groups have their own perspective, then yeah, they're going to be influenced by the Furious Five, but they still got their own thing going. You know what I'm saying?
One thing that I can say was definitely a difference, and I think Flock would agree with me on this. Back then, the music was actually better, and people actually had to have some type of lyricism Nowadays, it's really not. You don't have to have any sort of lyrics or anything. So like, I feel like no matter what.
Who are you defining as lyrical back in the day? Because everybody was not lyrical back in the day.
Yeah,
I'm not talking about. I'm not talking about
that.
the '80s. I'm not talking about like the early '80s. Like
I
would say like late '80s.
The hip to the hip.
But you gotta think that's Sugar Hill Gang, and that's like early '80s, if not late '70s.
I know.
I mean, that
came out '79, I think.
Yeah, that was the
late
birth of,
70s.
yeah, that was the birth of hip hop. So I mean, you can't compare that to some lyrical, some lyrical miracle shit out now. Because I mean, that's just like comparing Bubble Bobble to.
It was lyrical for its time.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Like you can't compare a Nintendo game to a PS4 game right now from a graphical standpoint.
I understand where you're coming from. I'm just like, there's always been party records. Like, yeah, I feel you. Like to some degree, I guess there was more, I guess, quote unquote, lyricism in older records, but at the same time, it's like, I'll give you an example. Like flow itself has advanced like ridiculously since that point. So even if you could argue that like these niggas out here aren't saying shit in these party records, flow wise, they would destroy the party records from back in the day. Lyrics wise, that's up for debate. Yeah, definitely, because the flows back then used to be so ABC 1 2 3, bro.
A lot of them party records that you're talking about, they still getting played right now in parties.
That's fine, man. I understand that.
That's out right now. We had this conversation before. A lot of shit that's out right now. Talk to me in 3 years and see if any of that shit is still getting played anywhere. A lot of that shit won't be.
I don't think he's arguing the quality of the music, though. I think he's arguing the quality of the flow.
But we saying with party records, we're not talking about party records. What JG was referencing to is to get put on overall. He wasn't talking about like a raw bass, It Takes Two type shit. He was saying like in general, like you actually had to be kind of nice to get put on. Now anybody can just get on and just stay on right now.
Well, I think that has to do
definitely a lot harder. It was definitely a lot.
That has to do with the internet accessibility.
Yeah,
we live in a global society
internet
now.
age, right?
Yeah, so
that's what I'm saying. It's a lot easier now
apples
to get put on.
Apples and pears. Like you can't really compare that. I don't think because we live in a different era. So I get what you're saying, Flock, but it's like it was just harder to get on because it was no internet.
I know what it is because I take an artist like say like an E40. Like a lot of people think E40 whack. E40 is a hustler. You know what I mean? That dude was making $150,000 off an album selling shit out of his trunk. Right. So that's how he got put on. And then he understood the business, the business sense when he got signed. Same thing with Jay-Z. Yeah, it's just understanding, once you get on, understanding the business and how to stay relevant on top of that too. A lot of these dudes, they get hot and they make one hot record and think they the shit, and then you don't see or hear from them no more. And what ended up happening is they just made their producer a superstar. Me and I talked about this before. They make their producer a superstar. And 3-4 years down the line, they ain't checking for that artist no more. Who they want? They want that producer that made this beat.
Because it's all about like I see where you're coming from, because like it's not a lot of lyrics, but I mean you can't blame the producer. The producer's just like, yo,
we never do.
I'm making this super hot ass beat. Like it's like if the rapper want to stay relevant, they need to evolve. Like I'll give you an example. Like I could say like T.I. is a rapper that I feel like I watched evolve. Like because T.I. was like more on like the gutter shit when he first came out, and then like his music quality just got better. He worked with better producers.
I agree.
He was an artist. He grew as a person. I feel like now with the whole cool thing now is like, oh, we gonna piss off the old hip hop heads and we gonna make the music as stupid as possible, and like it's like a joke, like it's like a big troll, like rap music right now is like a big troll, like a lot of niggas are getting trolled.
It's still good. It's still that type. It's still out. It's just.
I think you're giving Lil Yachty too much credit here, like artists like that with the whole any or Lil Uzi Vert, any of these new mumble rappers, I don't think they're trying to piss off the older heads. I think they're legit just stupid. Yeah. Like I feel like you need to give stupid people their credit.
I didn't want to say that, but I'm glad somebody else did. So I didn't look like the old hip hop head that was like, saying that.
Now, bringing up the producer argument, during hip hop's inception, there weren't, they were still trying to develop the whole thing of a producer, period. You literally just had the DJ who was scratching up some old school R&B records. Yeah. So besides, the get down part, when they were scratching it up to that part and then just playing it over and over and over, and the B-boys are rocking to it and everybody else is rocking into it. And then once you actually got the MC out, the MC had to be nice. You had to be nice. No questions asked, because like literally, unless you had the DJ, like you had to have that other element. So I felt like in order to get on the mic and for you to actually make something out of yourself, you had to be nice back then. Nowadays, you can just steal any old beat off of the internet and you can rap on it. That still doesn't mean you're nice or not, but
I think it did a full like a straight up 360 though, Jay. Like you said, it was about back in the day. It was about the DJ. Then it became about the MC.
I think I gotta correct you because the comments gonna cook you, nigga. You meant to say 180 because the comments gonna get you if I don't correct you real quick.
Well, yeah, you know what I mean. I'm saying it went full circle. Whatever. I meant to say. I'm
just trying to help you.
I mean, it hasn't gotten full circle.
It kind of went full circle, and then it came right, and it pretty much just came right back to where it started. That's what I meant to say.
I feel you.
You think we're at where we started?
I'm saying as far as it being about the actual.
No, he's saying who is.
It's more so about the producer, because these niggas can't. Most of these niggas can't rap. So that's why I said before, they making their producers a star. Ain't nobody who checking for lyrics. Half the dudes be like, bro, I only listen to the beat. Or I only listen to this. This dude trash. I don't want to hear all that. I mean, you can't. This, that. They listening for the track, and they checking for these producers.
I mean, but you know who to blame for that, right? That's the radio stations. That's motherfucking
that's radio.
The gatekeepers that let in all that shit and keep out, like, yo, like Kendrick's record To Pimp a Butterfly, like, to be honest, barely got radio play down here. Not like his first record. His first record was all over the radio. Like, the only nigga that they play on the radio a lot like that was J. Cole for Forest Hills Drive. But like, I don't hear J. Cole's record getting played on the radio either.
When you talk lyrical,
for your eyes
like,
only,
them the only dudes a lot of people even know, and I just think like it's so much. It's like people are so much more accessible to more than just Kendrick and
but
J.
you gotta
Cole.
look. You gotta. It's like finding anything good though. You have to sift through the trash. Like, if you want to find gems, you gotta sift through the trash. That's media. Period.
I mean, yeah, you're right.
It's bad. I mean,
today at least, I wouldn't say back in the day.
Today, because
all right, I'm not talking about
this going back to what Jay was
right
saying,
now.
because beforehand you had to be nice, so it was in front of you.
But it's a much more limited selection because it's not we didn't live in the internet age. Like, it's not like it's like you go there and you're like, these 15 niggas are rapping. This is the rap game right now.
I can also argue it's limited because you had to be nice though. Like, you wasn't just gonna show up because you was on the internet. I mean, like, let's be real here. There's ways you can trick algorithms and shit, Google and the YouTube search, by doing this, that. As a matter of fact, I was watching Soulja Boy's full Vlad TV interview, and he's like, you know how this man got popping? And I'm not even mad at him because this shit was kind of genius. This man said back in like 2007 when it was LimeWire popping, he said that he went on Google and he searched the top 20 songs in the world. He took the names of those top 20 songs and he renamed his file for Crank That. So let's say 50 Cent in the Club was one of the top songs at that time. He renamed his song 50 Cent in the Club and uploaded it to LimeWire, and he did that 20 times for the top 20 records in the world. So the next thing you know, he's got 50,000 downloads on his record. This is how some of these niggas is blowing up, unfortunately. Like, there are ways you can trick the situation. You couldn't do that back in the day.
Yeah, like you literally had to walk up to the DJ booth and was like, "Yo, I'm about to spit," or be nice in the rap line or whatever.
But okay, but now the question is like, okay, yeah, anybody can get in now, but it's like, what do you say to the now we have a changing culture where it's like the niggas who are actually nice are trying to do something and it's like, oh nah, we don't listen to that shit. What do you say to those people now?
I think it sucks. That's
deeper than music. That starts at home. Them niggas ain't got no parents.
What do you mean?
You talking about people who just absorb garbage music 24/7?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that starts at home. Like for me personally, the reason I dabble on both sides. Like the first hip hop album I ever heard played in my house, like on a regular basis in the car, was the Miseducation of Lauryn Hill. That played, whether people realize that played a big role in what I listened to, and then eventually I graduated to other stuff. But if you never heard an album like that and you just grew up on Gucci Mane, then yeah, like it's gonna be hard to reach those people. I always had both sides, and then I also was raised on R&B and soul and shit and funk.
Right. I always feel like it's way better to be is a lot more beneficial for you to be more well versed. Yeah, more well versed in the music, because my mom's grew up listening to like Anita Baker and Sade and Prince and Michael Jackson and shit like that. So that's what I was listening to. And then we got cable and Yo MTV Raps. You know what I mean? Hit the scene, and after that I was hooked.
I don't know. I just think like I blame a lot of gatekeepers, because it's like you can't. Yeah, a lot of garbage gets in, but it's like you can't be nice anymore either. Because let's say if I go right now to like, I don't know, Power 105 or whatever, and I'm like, yo, I'm the dopest motherfucker here. I'll rap anybody, and I fucking spit for like 2 hours. They're gonna be like, that's fine, nigga, but you got 200 followers on SoundCloud, so shit, we ain't gonna feature you on the show or like say nothing or help you or none of that. You got to go. And I understand that's a business. I understand that's a business, but it's like, okay, all these niggas love to complain about this, that, and the third, but what do y'all doing to help?
Radio, like the same shit. Yeah, like everybody like. Yeah, like even watching GR Radio, like GR Radio is literally like an experiment to me now. Like I play stuff, sometimes I intentionally get stuff and put it on there just to see how people are going to react. Like I pretty much know what they're going to like and what they're not going to like. It may be some tracks here or there that I like, and I was like, oh well, I thought that would be nice, and they were like, no, this shit trash. But it's like literally like the same shit. Like just like what you said. Like they like the coon stuff. They like the stuff that got a nice beat. They don't care about somebody who's actually rapping about something that's relevant. They call everything fake deep. It's kind of TBH's fault on that one a little bit. They cling on
a lot of everything. Some of it is fake deep. What are you talking about?
Yeah, but they hang on to shit you say, and everything after that that seemed like it had some type of purpose or a message behind it. It came up fake deep alert.
So like they don't give anything a chance. That's all it is. They're not giving anything a chance.
Right.
I can also argue there's not much to give a chance. Like, what's the name?
Most of that shit sounds the same on GI Radio.
Like, and that's why I go back to the argument. Like, are these dudes being inspired nowadays, or are they just literally biting? Like, if you hear something and you're like, oh man, I could do that too. Like, and you sound just like the other person. Like, we've heard like almost carbon copies on GI Radio.
Yeah, if we're talking about today's music, yeah, but back in the day, I can't say so much.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of wanting.
It goes back to I feel like people, like I was saying to Anon, a lot of people don't understand what it means to actually be an artist. Like, to be an artist is about pushing the culture forward and providing a perspective that, like when I hear your music, I want to say, damn, why didn't I think of that? Same thing like when I watch a YouTube video, like, damn, why did I think of that? Like, yo, then like, and then I should feel inspired by that. But I feel like a lot of people don't understand that it is a case of biting. They just hear something and then they want to imitate it. And that makes for bad music. A good example I can give is like fucking Kendrick Lamar's like All Right is like one of the best records in the past 5 years, because not only was he saying something, but that shit went hard. And it's like a lot of people just don't know how to be that inspired. Like I feel like you can give the candy and the medicine, and people are just too lazy to.
Because I mean, but now it pushes the question of why would you want to give the medicine when it's so easy to make candy and people are rewarding you so highly for it? Like, it's like I could sit here and I could think about all these deep ways and in my perspective and all that sort of shit, or I could be like, I'll put that bitch in no Uber, hit that nigga with the Ruger. Yeah,
see, like my thing is,
it's like you do that and it's over some dope production and shit, and you act coon enough on the internet because that's part of it. Niggas be like, who is that? Oh, I heard that nigga, he did such and such that was ignorant. Oh, okay. People start following you. You start getting paid a lot. And let me tell you what that looks like. One, it's like, oh shit, boy, I'm about to get extra stupid now because like I wasn't trying before. Now I'm going to try to be stupid. Two, everybody who's trying not to be a copy and trying to do their own thing and struggling is like, what the fuck am I doing? Why don't I just follow that formula?
Well, I think that has more to do with, like, I'm trying to stay on the subject of music, but I feel like that has more to do with sociology and economics. Like that's an even deeper topic of why niggas like so much damn niggatry. But like I feel like that's too deep of a conversation what we're trying to get on. But as far as like the biting stuff, like on the surface level, are there any more like, examples that you had, JG, as far as like who would you say that's biting or not?
Well, again, I don't consider it biting at all, but like even going from Ice-T to Ice Cube, like Cube said, he was like, yo, I heard 6 in the morning, and I was like, that shit dope. So I started writing my rhymes. And Boys in the Hood,
that was inspired though.
Like 6 in the morning.
Ice Cube sounds nothing like that.
That's why I said it's inspired though. I said
I can argue that's inspiration because Ice-T and Ice Cube don't sound the same to me.
Yeah, because Snoop and them dudes he was with back in the day, they did a song just like 6 in the morning too.
Yeah.
So, I mean.
So like it sounds similar, but they ended up having their own style. So you can't like I definitely wouldn't say that was biting at all.
But okay, but
if you pay homage,
hip hop has changed. Hip hop has changed in the sense of like back in the day, if you were biting somebody, that was your career, boy. Like that was niggas wouldn't fuck with you no more. Like like now it's funny. Like oh shit, that nigga named himself your name slightly different. What you gonna do about it?
People buy more into like the brand and the lifestyle because like the reason why someone like 22 Savage can exist is because it's like, oh yo, he sounds just like 21 Savage, let's see what 21 do, they gonna fight. Like it's not just about the music anymore. People buy into you
niggas
as
like
a person.
drama.
Yeah.
Drama,
the mystique of an artist is gone now.
Yeah, so like when you said about whose fault that is, and we were talking about like as far as like real MCs getting shine, whose fault is that shit goes on and it's accepted? Like nobody catches on to that shit and just be like, you know what, fuck this dude, we can't fuck with him. It's the people, it's the consumers, it's the people that sit there and watch and entertain that shit because niggas love drama.
Yeah, so people just allow it to go on. Yeah.
It's like if you were a fan, you held artists to a certain, a core, you held them to a certain standard. Like, yo, we not gonna accept this bullshit. You come out with a bullshit album right here after we done supported you on this one, we ain't fucking with you on the third one. And that used to happen a lot when people used to talk about that sophomore jinx and shit like that. Because them dudes had all the pressure in the world to come out like, man, this next album got to be as hot as this first one, or I'm fucked. Now these dudes come out here now, make a couple little mumble joints, and like I said, I just learned to deal with it. The times have changed and all that other stuff. I let them cats do what they do. Like I said, when I don't like it, I don't listen to it, and I don't say shit about it unless somebody asks me my opinion on it. But I don't think people being held accountable and being held to no type of standards, man. It's just like it's a fucking free for all out here. You can come out here and you can just say whatever and ain't saying nothing. And motherfuckers listen to the shit.
It's the consumer too, because like, it kind of goes back to what y'all was talking about, how like radio is no longer the tastemakers; they kind of just follow the trend. Even like I don't like a lot of shit that Ebro does, but Ebro be checking a lot of these niggas in these interviews, and the problem is they fucking retarded ass fans. Oh, why were you being so mean to Yachty? Why did you ask him to freestyle? Because bitch, it's hip hop. Like, what are you talking about, bro? It's like
that was always the protocol. You come on a radio show, you better have some shit ready.
Like the artists are like prima donnas. They come up to the damn radio station as if they're just the shit. Like, oh, you should be blessed to be in my presence. No, you supposed to get on the microphone and spit. Yeah,
coming up there with ski masks on and stuff.
But then you have an LL Cool J that done dropped 10 albums going to a radio station, and he'll drop some shit for you.
Dipset used to show up to Hot 97 to freestyle for an hour straight. Like that's what you need to be on. Like, and I feel like they don't understand. Like these new artists don't understand the value of doing that. Like that shit's impressive to me when I see shit like that.
Hell yeah, listen to them old Jay-Z and Rockefeller freestyles and shit with Funk Flex and stuff like that. That shit was going on.
If you're a rapper, and I've never heard of you, I don't want to hear you talk about how great your album is. Yo, let me hear some bars. Do the 5 Fingers of Death on Sway, and then I'll go check you out.
Make me want to go buy your shit. Make me want to go buy your shit.
That's great.
I mean, you're not lying. You're not lying. I mean,
right. So another thing I want to get on, and they also touched on this in Hip Hop Evolution, was fashion. Wait, like going back to Grandmaster Flash and the Furious 5, yo, like the disco era and the funkadelic era straight up like influenced all of them. Like they were like, yo, we dressed like this because that's what was hot.
Just
that
like
was,
Eddie Murphy and hilarious.
That's what was marketable.
Bring that shit back, nigga. That shit was fire.
And then you had like Run DMC come out, right? And they was like, yo, what y'all doing? Yeah, y'all got the tracksuits and the Adidas shell toes and the Kango hat. Yeah, they was at first, but then they ended up like, all right, we just gonna wear the regular stuff that we wear out on the block. And at first, like the older dudes were tripping out. They were like, nah, like that ain't cool, but ended up being acceptable. But like I just felt like a lot of people were scared back then because they were like, yo, they not gonna feel me. I'm not gonna blow up. I'm not gonna be marketable if I don't dress like this. Even Dr. Dre was dressing like that, and that's what Eazy-E was clowning him on because they were dressing like that back in the day. But even they ended up switching up their style. Like, you know what? I ain't gonna do this no more. But again, that's just a passing of the culture. Like a lot of people felt like they had to do that. And now we're in an era where you got like people wearing little girls' dresses and stuff and like trying to, I wouldn't even say trying to push the culture for it. It's just like, well, I'm gonna do whatever the hell I want to do just because, and you end up getting that attention, whether it's positive or negative. You're still getting the attention because of what you're doing. You're being, extra flamboyant just because.
So what's the debate here? What are we arguing about on fashion?
Oh, it's about I mean, it still kind of is in the realm of biting or being inspired.
Okay, so like in the beginning of hip hop, I would say everybody was like pretty much biting each other with the fucking Eddie Murphy delirious leather suits and shit.
Them leather suits.
But by the mid '90s, everybody had their own style because fucking Fresh Prince and Jazzy Jeff, they had their own style. TLC, they had their own style. Fucking. What was it? What's old boys? Mobb Deep. Like they didn't look like nobody
Deep.
else.
You had like
LL Cool J
still out doing his own thing.
Yeah, Queen Latifah. Like everybody. And then you had what was it? What's the dudes that was on the fucking Kente Cloth and shit?
X Clan.
Not X Clan. Fucking
Public Enemy.
De La Soul. Yeah. They like everybody looked different. Be like, yo, that's X, Y, and Z. Like, but so I can't. That's only in the beginning. Like from now, I feel like.
Yeah. But see, that's an era where everybody, like you said, had their own style. Everybody knew how to think for themselves and do their own shit. Now we just in a this just a era. Everybody being a fucking copycat.
Yeah, but I also feel like again it's coming back around because you got other people wanting to wear dresses too. I'm not saying that they're being heavily influenced, but it's
the
like
fact that we even talking about this shit is
that shit
sad,
gay.
Man.
I mean, I
ain't
like
got nothing
people
against gay folks, man, but that shit is not that being like that in hip hop, yo. That shit just never been a mix, bro.
They're just trying to be extra, and I don't understand why people feel like they have to be that way.
And for people to defend that shit, man, I question you. I really do. I can't get with that, fam.
So yeah, it's just wild. But those are definitely the two things I wanted to discuss here. So, any other thoughts from you all about biting and being inspired, or any final thoughts?
Biting and being inspired.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with being inspired, fam. I just think ultimately, like, a lot of people hit me up and they're like, yo, I'm an artist, man, blah blah blah. What should I do to like get out, or what do you think? I tell them, first things first, before you do anything, there are two things. Try and make sure your music sounds as professional as possible so you get taken seriously from the jump. 2, be yourself. Don't be one of these other niggas. Just because you like somebody doesn't mean you have to be somebody. Figure out who you are and who you want to be and what you want to say with your music. Like, so there, like I said, there's nothing wrong with being inspired. I'm inspired by Eminem, Lupe Fiasco, Biggie, Big L, like, but none of them niggas, well, maybe Lupe, but not really none of them niggas talk about like anime and shit and do things the way that I do things. So it's like, don't be a copy. Don't be a copy. That's it.
All I gotta say is most of you niggas is losers. You're whack. You're not even artists. You like a lot of you niggas just let Nas down in life. Like, it's okay. Go be an electrician. Go be a plumber. We need more doctors. We need more lawyers. Like, too many damn rappers, bro. Shut the fuck up, all of you. All right, I'm done.
Yeah, I'm with A9, man. Just be yourself, yo. It's cool to just be you, man. You don't have to do what everybody else is doing. Like, you don't have to do what little this and that dude doing. Just, it's cool to be inspired, yo. Don't be a copycat.
The corniest thing you could do is try to be another nigga. Like, if you actually think about it, like, you can't even go into certain situations because you don't know how a certain person act. Yo, let me get on YouTube and make sure. Let me see how 50 act in the club, so I know how to act in the club. Yo, like, what is wrong with you niggas, bro? I don't know, man. It's a no for me, though.
We talking about biting and shit. Jay, you remember the Cameron Jay-Z beef, right?
Yeah.
And how he came out with that shit, that biter, not a writer, and all that other shit. Not a writer, yeah. So I mean, would all of us consider that biting? Would we consider him paying homage to his boy and saying some of Biggie rhymes? I would consider that just paying homage to Biggie and using some of his lines.
Wait, who used whose lines?
What Jay-Z would use some of Biggie's lines in his songs. And remember Cameron came out and was calling him a biter and all of that.
I don't know. I mean, it wasn't just
system. It wasn't telling what I fucking was.
It wasn't just Cameron. I don't know. It was Nas too. He called him a Tybo hoe.
Yeah, he did. But I mean,
he said them. You love to say Biggie's lines out your fat ass lips. Like, I don't know, man. I might have been biting a little bit.
But I mean, it's not like we didn't know that was fucking Biggie's words. And nobody can say the shit the way Biggie's delivery was. I mean,
okay, but you can't say arguing delivery. Okay, I feel like paying homage is like, okay, if you say the lines and you don't have any sort of mention to, like, all right, let's say I say some lyrics from like Notorious or whatever, and the word notorious, I mean, not Notorious, I'm sorry, Hypnotized. And the word hypnotized isn't in none of my bars or nothing like that, or no shout out to Biggie or none of that. I feel like that's not paying homage. Like, I used to be real strict on that. I was like, nah, it's biting.
Only reason why I would give them a pass because they were so tight.
I feel like you give them a pass.
If it wasn't Jay-Z and it was...
There it is.
And it was, let's say...
now we get into it.
Whatever, man. Next.
That's great.
Stay inspired out there, y'all.
That's great.
Well, basically, I just wanted to bring that up because I mean, a lot of people say, everybody's a carbon copy now. It was kind of some back then, or some elements, I would say, not the entire piece of the puzzle with one rapper to another, or at least not that I could think of, or not that was shown in a documentary. But it felt like there was more people being inspired back then to be their own person. Yeah, they may have heard a record and then something a bit similar, but they ended up evolving into the legends that they are now, compared to now, which again, Flock and TBA said, like, where y'all gonna be at in 3 to 4 years? Ain't nobody gonna remember you. So
yeah, hey, don't. Why would you want to copy? Why would you want to be the carbon copy of garbage?
I mean, hey. That's not everybody thinks it's garbage.
Lil Bo.
This is true.
And
I'm not even saying Lil Yachty, because I feel like everybody thinks that is the one person all the hate is like directed towards. Like, he's the martyr for all this. And I feel like that fuels his
because
career.
He opened his mouth as well.
I mean, that nigga he's disrespectful. That's all that is.
That's the only reason why I ever even said anything about that dude, because I never listened to any of his music. But when he said the shit that he said, I had to check the nigga's resume out, and then I was like, no, this nigga, man, you know what I always say about most of these rappers? They sound like they write their rhymes down with crayon, and I just like, these niggas be whack to me, man. I be listening to them like, you gonna basically say that this ain't shit. And we listening to you, and this shit that you saying is something? Come on, son. Like, I get these new niggas a pass. I try to, I just let them do their thing. But then when you disrespect the shit that's way better than the shit that you ever put out, then yeah, I got a problem with it. It's easy. I mean, you can always just say, I didn't grow up listening to that, and that's fine. And you can just move on. Like what TBA said, his first experience to like the hip hop genre really was like the Miseducation of Lauryn Hill, which is one of my favorite albums, by the way. Dope. That's the starter kit right there. And the fact that she is a female can out rhyme all these niggas that's out right now, probably today, if she wasn't so batshit crazy. But I'm just saying, man, it all comes down to what you exposed to. If you wasn't exposed to the shit, I don't expect for you to get it, but you can't. I wasn't exposed to certain shit. I wasn't exposed to fucking country music and shit like that. I don't trash it. I just don't fuck with it.
Right.
This just
And
goes
that's
back
perfectly
to
fine.
this just goes back to parenting. Like I said, like a lot of people have just been failed. Like Lil Boat's problem is he's disrespectful. He's disrespectful, and it's like I feel like as a guest in hip hop, which you're gonna be booted within the next couple years, I believe. Like just shut your mouth and take your lumps, because the reality of the situation is we're not talking about like an Eminem versus a Jay-Z. Like if we're talking about like he was talking about Biggie was trash or somebody. It's not subjectively, like Biggie is objectively better than you, and you should just learn to respect your elders. Like there's no debating that.
I feel that.
But yeah, JG be biting my style. I get sick of this shit, though.